I don't know if it's just, I mean, I had a busy week, but also it's like we're doing these. That's another thing with like doing these weekly is like, well, I have less time to like watch other stuff, so I'm like, I don't really have like movies to. I haven't watched any. My weeks have been a blur of shitty comedies.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, maybe I can talk about like something else. But I'm like, all that I like without movies, I'm just like grumpy old man because I was like, what happened to me today? Well, I basically have been dealing with like I could complain about car stuff. We're trying to get like a warranty, or she has like a warranty on her car, so I've been calling around dealerships, and it's so frustrating because like it's in there, it's in like the warranty, it's in like the whatever, like it's there.
Yeah.
And yet you call around and they're like, they're trying. Well, they're like, well, okay, we'll have to run a diagnostic, but then if it's other stuff, we'll have to do that. And it's like, no, we have a warranty. It's like still trying to like upsell you on.
Yeah, you got to get that true coat.
Yeah, that kind of bullshit. But I think we found one that was okay. There was something else that was just kind of like in that same vein of just like I just feel like like a grumpy old man. Maybe it was the kid. Maybe it was the kid at school.
That's
saying,
what I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
about your shirt.
Godzilla from Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I would like walk out of the classroom.
I did. Oh, I think I said that in the chat, but I did do. I was a little. I mean, I kind of have this banter with the kids, anyways. But I was like, no, he's not from Fortnite. But yes, it's Godzilla.
Yeah, or be like, if you were wearing like a DBZ shirt, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's Goku from Fortnite.
Everybody's from Fortnite now.
No, yeah. That's like the insane thing is like every intellectual property is in Fortnite now.
Yeah, because that's what's that's what everything is turning into. Fortnite. It's like Fortnite's like the real life, the real world, like Ready Player One.
Oh
game.
Shit! Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
Like, well, what? I mean, they've got like Star Wars, but like they don't really have any of like the mainstream like Disney. Like, there's no Mickey Mouse or well, I would imagine Disney probably doesn't want that imagery of Mickey Mouse with like an AK-47,
yeah,
or like a desert, like
that's
Goofy
true.
with a Desert Eagle. Just
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Have you? This is like sort of related. Have you watched The Studio at all? That Apple TV Plus show with Seth Rogen. Do you know the basic premise of it?
Yeah, I know the basic premise. Yeah,
because like in the first episode, they basically pitch him like, "Hey, Kool-Aid is letting us use their IP to like make a movie."
Mm-hmm.
And like that's kind of like the kicking off point. Is like Seth Rogen's character is like loves cinema. He like works at the studio, but he wants to make quality movies. Like he really like wants to, go back to like the olden days of Hollywood where there's like craft involved. And like his first opportunity to get a big break is to like make the Kool-Aid movie with like the Kool-Aid intellectual property. And that's just like the fact that like everybody uses the word IP now, or like content. Like, yeah, I'm watching content. It's like these are like marketing buzzwords, and now it's just like it has creeped its way into like the average like lexicon of people, and it's like it's weird, and I don't like it. That's my old man yelling at cloud. I don't like the I don't know, slopification of everything, where you're not watching like a film, you're consuming content.
Yeah.
Godzilla is content now.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla's DLC. You have to pay money to get him, probably.
Yeah. Well, another not really related but sort of thing that reminded me of is I skimmed through this critic that I follow on Letterboxd, his review of a Minecraft movie, and he like, I noticed, and like he mentioned like an offhanded comment that they use it was him, or maybe it was just one of the popular reviews or whatever, that the movie uses the word unalive unironically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man. What's next? Are they going to call Jack Black a PDF file?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be, yeah.
That's insane. Because the whole reason that exists is to get around like algorithmic sensors on apps.
Right. Yeah.
And now that has just replaced how people talk.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen any of these videos, but there have definitely been like TikToks that I've seen of like people doing content creator voice. And it's like this type of voice that you turn on when you're like, it sounds like a sponsored post. It's like what's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel, that.
Yeah.
But it's like people slipping into like content creator voice for like just everyday like banal things.
Yeah.
And I guess with podcasts, you kind of do it too. Like there is like a certain way that I speak because I know that it's being recorded and there's a microphone in front of my face that I'm like, I project my voice and I speak at like a certain volume, but like the whole content creator voice shit it's weird. It's weird that it's the ways that like this stuff is crept into every day. Like it's changed the way people talk. Like from a linguistic standpoint, it's very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, language does change, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like past generations, when new terms and phrases were introduced, did they think people in did older people in like the 1920s think that alley cat was like grade A brain rot or something? Stuff like that, or
yeah, he's like saying toots and it's just like, oh, get a load of this guy.
Yeah.
maybe our way of speaking is the transatlantic accent, and like it's going to be a thing of the past soon. Yeah. Where like all like these iPad kids that are growing up, like that's just the new way of speaking, and they're gonna watch like a YouTube video from 2010 and like make fun of it the way that we watch like Jimmy Stewart movies, and we like listen to his voice and we're like, oh, you know, I think I'm gonna do it, and we're like, look at that, look at the funny man with his funny way of talking, and it's just like us.
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck is he talking about? Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of ThereWillBeDuds. This is episode 177, and I am your co-host TJ, and with me as always, I am Nick. And as always, we watched another movie. This is our third movie. Yep, we're halfway through our dud month for this year, and the movie this week is Going Overboard from 1989, directed by Valerie Bryman. It stars Adam Sandler as a waiter on a cruise ship, who really wants to be the onboard, like the ship comedian. But there's already a ship comedian, and he isn't willing to like give him a spot. And then there's also like some pirates that come on board. Like this, that's mostly it. It's funny because like it wasn't like watching this I was like, wow, this is so story rich and everything, but trying to describe it, there really isn't. There's even less than I was thinking there was. The
first couple sentences of the Wikipedia like I feel like skip the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie of like whatever happens. It's like he works on a cruise ship and he wants to be a comedian, and then the fourth sentence is like Dickie Diamond locks himself in the bathroom, and that happens like
that's like
50 minutes into the movie. Yeah. So all the first like 40 minutes or so of it like is just, it doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Although one thing that I did like is that the movie does tell you at the very beginning what it thinks of the audience, because the first words that we hear are "eat me," and yep, I was like, okay, this movie knows exactly the type of film that it's about to inflict on the people watching it.
Yeah. And then you get the whole like the fourth wall breaking stuff with Adam Sandler, where he's like, "Oh, this is what this movie's gonna be like." So you can't.
He's trying to be meta. Yeah.
You can't criticize it for this because we're already pointing it out. And he's like, God, there's the part at the beginning where he's like, "This isn't low budget. This is no budget." And then it's like, yeah, sure, you got fucking Milton Berle on a Come talk to me when you want to talk no budget, asshole.
Yeah, for real.
Plus they got on the, I mean, I did read the stuff about how they just kind of like lucked out and were able to like film on a cruise ship for free, essentially.
Yeah.
They kind of just got to like work around stuff, but still it's like, don't say you're no budget, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if it's correct on the IMDb trivia, it seems like the fact that like the boat had a bunch of like Miss America, Miss whatever models on it was like total happenstance. It's like they learned that the boat had those models on it, so they wrote the movie around that.
Yeah, I saw that it was like from concept to completion, it was like 3 months or something like that. Like they wrote the script in like a few days and then shot it in like a week or something like that.
Yeah, Adam Sandler didn't even get hired on for this movie until like 10 days before they started shooting it.
Yeah.
And like the one of the main things that I like sort of was thinking about with this movie was that, I don't know, it's like late 80s, which I think is still kind of in that time period. I want to say the time period that I'm thinking of is mostly in the early to mid 80s, but like there's a certain point in time in this country where there were like 10 stand-up venues, like ever. And everybody who like went to those stand-up venues, like somehow just eventually became famous.
Yeah.
because like there wasn't anywhere else to do comedy. Now it's like every city you go to, if it's like bigger than, like, you know, if they have like a, you know, downtown area, you can't walk 2 blocks without there being some sort of like venue for like an open mic. Like every brewery and like pickleball, you know, place has like a little stage and a microphone and a PA system, and like everybody's trying to do comedy. And it's like this movie like existed when it's, and like that style of comedy too. Like the Dickie Diamond character is one of the most grating characters I think I've ever seen, like presented on film. Yeah. But it's like, and the IMDb says that he was basically doing like an Andrew Dice Clay impression, which,
okay,
if you know anything about Andrew Dice Clay, he's like, I think he's more famous for like his delivery than like the actual content of his jokes.
Sure.
It's like, hey, hickory dickory dock. And it's just like he says things funny. And like people are like, yeah, that's funny because he said it in a funny voice.
Yeah.
Because like all of Dickie Diamond's jokes are non-jokes, really. It's either like street jokes that's like, hey, 2 guys walk into a bar. One of them's an Arab guy and the other one's like a Jewish guy, and then they say, oh, it's like all those types of premises. But it's like, this is like emblematic of like that time period where there's like 6 stand-up clubs and every comedian is like that. And people are like, this is the most cutting edge comedy that's like ever existed. And then you watch it 20 years later and you're like, this sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And you lose, Bun. Guess what? You lose. You know what happens to losers? You get your bathing suit ripped off and shoved up your ass.
It's like the equivalent of like rap at the time, where it was just like, if you can rhyme at all, then you're a rapper. But at least those are like good beats and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So like, it's not all totally, you know, like the Donald Glover bit, like that I went to the hat store and I got myself a hat, like that kind of stuff. Or what was that one movie where it's like, she's hot and you're not?
Oh yeah,
like top
Teen
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top that.
That song fucking slaps. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. He's pretty awful. And then like I couldn't get. It was weird because I guess I saw that she, the director, like she like saw Adam Sandler do stand up, and then it was like she approached him after one of his sets to like come do the movie, and like you would think that they would want to like, I don't know if that was like when he was doing stand up, that kind of felt like his Shecky Moskowitz or whatever in this is like sort of he's adjacent to that just general kind of character that Adam Sandler played.
Yeah.
And like, it's not exactly Happy Gilmore, it's not exactly Billy Madison, it's not exactly like some of his other like SNL characters, but it's like kind of like in between there somewhere.
You can kind of see like where he
Yeah.
got those characters from.
Yeah, but then every time he does stand up, it's like bad. Like he never like tells good jokes or anything. I think at the end there's the part, no, he just like brings the terrorists up and then they tell the funny jokes, or it's something like that.
Yeah.
And he's also so like uncomfortable and awkward to where like, knowing Adam Sandler in context, it's like that's his character or whatever. I can see what he's going for. That doesn't make it funny, but
yeah,
it like I can like kind of just see where he's kind of coming from. Yeah, knowing him now, but like since this was like his first movie and everything, if I'd have seen this not knowing who he was, I'd be like, this guy fucking sucks. He's like one of the worst actors I've ever seen. He's fucking terrible in this movie. And like, I don't know if like anybody's good, but he's really bad in this. And then like every time he does stand up, it's like, has this guy like even seen somebody tell a joke before? He's so just clunky, and yeah, just really like I just felt uncomfortable every time he was like, especially when he was like trying to do his like stand-up bits or whatever, or even just like telling jokes to the camera sometimes was like pretty rough.
Okay, why the chicken crossed the road? Nothing, no good. Why do firemen wear red suspenders? No good, nothing. Okay.
Maybe this is definitive proof of his mastery of the craft, because the only way that you can know exactly like the 180-degree polar opposite of how to do it is to know how to do it, to know how to act like you don't know how to do it. Maybe that's he's such a genius. He's so good at stand-up that only a true genius at stand-up can know how to perform anti-stand-up and just not do it very well at all. I don't know.
Probably not, but
also, like, this is one of the most annoying movies I've ever seen, where it's like one of those yapping movies where everyone is just constantly talking and talking and talking.
Yes.
And every scene
nobody shuts the fuck up.
It goes on for so long. Every single scene, just like it feels like those pre like Judd Apatow movies where like they're just kind of riffing and just they're not saying anything, but they're like, okay, well, we have to fill an hour and a half, so just like keep talking. And he's like, well, I want to go do this, but I don't think I should. But if I did, I think if I would go do this, and it's just it's a little kid telling a story. But with adults, just like, and then I went to this, and then I thought I would do this, but blah 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 blah, and it's like every scene is like that now.
Yeah. There was like a lot of that. Like, I'm thinking in particular the scene where it's after like the pirates or terrorists or whatever, when they get on the boat, and then it's like a stationary shot. I think it's like facing the microphone where Adam Sandler was doing stand up, and then like they kind of come on like one by one, and like they're like right in the camera.
Yes.
And they I couldn't understand what anybody was saying, but it went on for like 2 minutes of just like somebody steps in, oh, I'm gonna kill you, steps off. Yep. Next person steps in, oh, we're gonna kidnap you, or I don't know. It's just like one after another, and then just like how much it goes back to like Dickie in the bathroom, and that just lingers on him for so long.
That felt like, okay, you're riffing, like, because the whole time he's just like swearing and just like, oh, when I get out of there, you motherfuckers are gonna, there's the toilet, let me crawl through the toilet, I can't do that, toilet hole's too small, oh, maybe if I take my shoe off, that stinks, it stinks like shit, and it's just, yeah, they're like, all right, yeah, no, like someone behind the camera is just like,
that's
golden. Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going. I don't know. I feel like we talked about this with Norbit, and maybe it's because it's Adam Sandler that I'm sort of in the mindset of this, but this feels like another like SNL sketch that would be cut.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of scenes that and it's funny because I've been watching the documentary about SNL. Where I just watched the episode today that was about like the sketch writing process and how they just, you know, like Tuesday night, they just come up with ideas, and a lot of them just suck shit, but it's part of the process. And then it's like they pitch them and they do the table read, and then these ones get selected, and then they do the like dress rehearsal, and then it gets whittled down even more, and then Lauren picks the ones because he's the almighty god of SNL, and he's the arbiter of what's funny, whatever. And this feels like one that, like, I bet while they were making this, while they were writing this, they thought it was hilarious. I bet they had a ton of fun making this movie. And it's like, that's how I feel about all these SNL writers. I mean, yeah, you're on a cruise ship. It's like they're laughing their asses off while they're coming up with ideas that are literally just like, let's see, I'm just looking around in my office, like, book glasses. I got book glasses here. And, like, there's an SNL sketch there, like, oh, what if, like, you get glasses that you can only wear when you're trying to read a book, and it, whatever. And, like, that's, like, the caliber of quality of the shit that they're coming up with. And, like, they probably think it's hilarious at the time. And that's what this felt like, was just, like, a sketch that someone came up, with at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it should have died in the writer's room.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was too far off, because considering like how quickly the script was written and just like how rushed the entire thing was, maybe it was, probably more than a week ahead of time, but it seems like it was like kind of just like I think it was like, we have access to this cruise ship came first, and then it was like, let's write a script afterwards. So I don't think you're like too far off with that, like, analogy or whatever. It was just like, again, just like the most basic idea. Like, I wonder like what, I think, Adam Sandler's credited with like additional material, but I mean, it's weird because it almost feels like something that he would write. And I know he like, this is a movie that he is embarrassed about. And And I wonder if like even at the time he like played down his own contribution. I don't know. Because, like, I mean, just his character name, Shecky Moskowitz, it's like the Jewiest name ever. Dude. I'm like, that's a total, like, Adam Sandler name. Or, like, even stuff like there's some other cameos, but they weren't really celebrities at the time. But I'm thinking of, like, the like, blatant Milton Berle cameo near the end. And it's like, oh, you know, really famous old celebrity cameo. That's a thing that he likes to do in a lot of his movies. Or like dream sequences where he has like a dream sequence where he like sees his mother. He does those a lot in like his comedy movies. And then just like the whole nature of he was new. He didn't have the power that he had now, but it is kind of funny that like he's other than when he kind of ventures out and does stuff more serious like Uncut Gems or Meyerowitz Stories or whatever. Yeah, he's mostly known for just like his hangout movies now, like Grown Ups, and
I saw that in your Letterboxd review, like the
Grown Ups grind set. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like okay, his first movie that he stars in is basically like
a vacation movie.
Let's just go chill. Yeah. Let's just go on a cruise ship and chill. And it's like, I don't blame him, you know? I mean, like, if I was, like, approached by somebody and they're like, hey, do you want to star in my movie? You're going to be on a cruise ship for a week. I'm like, sure. Yeah, why not?
Sounds fun. Why not?
Right? And then, kind of, there's also, like, maybe this isn't explicitly him, but I guess it may be just trying to tie it more to his stuff. But this is very... I don't know, like cliche, like all the like montages set to like 2-3 minutes worth of like music, and I think most of it was original at the very least. But they did do the one. God, is it
You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet?
Did they do that song too?
I think that they did, but I think in the credits it is credited to Adam Sandler doing the cover, so I don't think they use like the actual band. I think that You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, baby. I'm pretty sure that's Adam Sandler like doing it, because that's pretty wild. Because I know he's like sort of known for music as well, even though it's more typically in like satirical, like the Hanukkah song, etc. But I guess he's not a terrible musician.
Yeah,
so.
No. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like his acting, but there was definitely, I could tell right away there was one that he did that was like, I don't think it was. Maybe it was satirical because it's like, oh, we're trying to do a romantic moment in this silly movie, but there was some like romantic scene somewhere, and it was, I can't think of what the song was, but it was him kind of singing high pitched like this and slow, but that was 100% him. No, the song I was thinking of was also a cover, not by Adam Sandler, but it's Nowhere to Run To, Baby, Nowhere to Hide. Okay. It's God, who does that song? It's like, I think it's the Vandellas. I think that's what it's like, an old it's like an old 60s song. I don't even know if that's theirs. That could be like a old traditional song. I don't even know.
Yeah. But the songs in this also, like, it's like the full 3-minute long song.
I wanna slap your cat.
Oh.
I wanna slap your cat. That's where it's at.
It's like it feels like the longest 90-minute movie I've ever seen. Like, it's insane how much this drags for being a tight 90.
Yeah.
Because there's really only like 40 minutes of like story, and the rest is just characters yapping.
Mm-hmm.
Like we spend so much time with the yellow teeth guy, the Croker, whatever.
Kroger, yeah.
And what's funny is when that character is introduced, it's like him talking to his agent and his girlfriend, and his agent is trying to convince him to like sign off on a line of action figures, not dolls, of Croker.
Yes,
because he owes like X $million for he like destroyed a hotel room, or he destroyed something. He caused damages.
Yeah.
And
he's basically supposed to be like Axl Rose and Nikki Sixx, and like
he's like your
typical
your rock star guy who's like, I'm gonna trash the hotel room and I don't give a shit, and he's like drinking whiskey on stage kind of shit. But even in that first scene where you kind of get this little bit of a conversation, Adam Sandler shows up and he looks into the camera and he's like, yeah, do you see these two guys? These characters aren't even gonna be in the rest of the movie. They're just here for like flavor and spice to like, and then they're in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, you lied to me.
Yeah,
like you're being cheeky about like, hey, we're like it's almost like he's acknowledging that they're padding for time by showing characters that aren't relevant to the story because. Yeah, there's other people on this boat, and we're going to show you little snippets of them for no reason other than, like, flavor. But then it's like Croker becomes part of the story.
Yeah, like one of the main characters, essentially. Or, like, he's like a supporting character, but he is, like, the main supporting character, kind of. Yeah, it's funny, because when it got to him, I mean, he's introduced maybe like 10 minutes in or something, pretty early on. But it had been subjected to just so much, like, I swear, and it's probably because they were shooting on a fucking cruise ship, and they had very not great like equipment, so I'm sure it was like windy as hell, which is why basically every fucking line is ADR'd and not ADR'd that great. But then that
was my second note, was like, this is weird ADR.
Yeah, I gotta assume that like it's just it's windy out on the ocean, so they probably did not have like great microphones for it, so yeah, that's probably why. But it gets to him, and I was like, the way that he was like playing it, it was kind of like everybody in this movie, especially, oh my god, especially. And like I can't even like I don't even know if I can really blame them, or at least the girls, for it. I think it's more like a criticism against the director. But it feels like this director does not know the concept of a second take. It like every single scene, every single shot was first take, one and done. Like I'm saying like from the performances, because people would like like mush mouth like some words together, but it kind of worked for Kroger because of like his character. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy is like, I don't know if it's like the acting, or if it's the kind of, because it's so like this movie is so messy and unpracticed that it just kind of works for his character. I was like, okay, he's like, compared to the rest of these guys, he's like the best one. But that very quickly changed. I was like, no, he's just as bad, because there's like the line in particular, like I had already started to kind of turn on him, but then there's a line in particular where these girls come up and they're like, oh my god, Kroger, can you sign this for us? And he's like he's like, shit, yeah, I'll autograph anything for you bitches. It's so weird.
Can we please have your autograph, please?
All right. Oh, chicks, man. I'll sign autographs for you bitches.
But that's like kind of the flow of dialogue from everybody is so fucking weird. But then also, and why I think it's just like a directing thing is like there's that, but then also there's scenes where even it's like one of the last shots of a main like character. It's when the very end of the movie where Neptune, I think that's the god,
Billy Zane.
Yeah, Billy Zane, which is wild. He like gifts Adam Sandler his daughter, basically, and then Adam Sandler does kind of like he like leans into the camera to do kind of like a like all right,
yeah.
sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure it like cuts off the top of his head. So like people are not framed properly in a lot of this. I know for a fact there's at least another scene where somebody's like half of their face is cut off.
So there is an IMDb tidbit about this.
Yes.
The camera crew forgot to bring a box of lenses on the ship, so the director of photography was forced to shoot with the wrong lenses.
Well,
so
you can still see what you're filming at the time, so adjust.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? If it's like, oh, we can't do a medium shot because we don't have this lens. It's like, back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a way to keep everybody's face in the frame. Like,
yeah. Not like you need to worry about picking up their voices, so.
Yeah, for
I'm not
real.
using any of that shit.
The frame narrative in this is also completely unhinged and insane.
Yeah. Which that has a guy that I recognize too.
Burt Young, the guy who plays Noriega.
Yeah, Noriega. Which I think was like an actual person. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Manuel Noriega is in Panama.
Okay.
God, I can't. Is he like a? I wonder if he's like a guy that the United States propped up, because that seems like something we would do.
Why not? Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just one of those guys
actor
that's in stuff.
Yeah, he like just died like 2 years ago.
I saw that. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Oh, he's Paulie and Rocky. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's probably like the big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's this real life Panama general guy who live streams this movie via VHS tape. That's the only way that I can like describe it, because at first it seems like, okay, he's watching a movie. It's another fucking, it's like, can these comedies think of any other frame narrative?
It's inappropriate comedy.
Yeah,
it's movie 43.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. That's what this is too. And that's what it seems like for a while. It seems like he's just watching a movie and that's the frame narrative. Maybe they're just like, hey, we got some extra money after the cruise. So let's hire some name that we can, afford with the money we have left. This guy was this guy's been in some movies. So, but then it's like one of it's the Miss Australia or whatever, who's like kind of one of the main characters, says that he's stinky or something. Yeah. So then he sends his Middle Eastern like lackeys after them or something.
Yeah, which makes no sense because Panama is not in the Middle East.
Yeah, right? I was so confused. He's not even doing like an accent. He sounds like a guy from New York, Yeah. It's so weird. And then, the one pirate's name is Ahmed, and then I don't remember if they say the other guy's name, but that was crazy. And so it's like, okay, so this is happening at the same time. So I don't understand like what that's even supposed to be. So I was just like, okay, he's live streaming it.
Because at the beginning, Noriega says, "Eat me." It's like the movie starts with him like picking through the tapes, and it looks like he's like looking through like mail order porn. Like he's like, "Oh, eat me," whatever. And then the next one is like, Debbie does Denver or whatever. Like they all have like those types of like porno names. Mm-hmm. And then he gets to one, and isn't Adam Sandler like on the cover of the VHS tape?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't notice that.
I think he is.
Okay.
Because it looks like he's putting in, like, it looks like the frame narrative is he's putting in a movie, and the movie that he's watching is the movie that we're seeing, which is Going Overboard. Mm-hmm. But then it's like Adam Sandler's breaking the fourth wall by like talking directly into the camera and is like aware that they're making a movie.
He's the live streamer. Like, he's the one like doing the live stream. Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
But somehow this live stream also has like footage of the boat from like, cause it'll cut to like, you know, you'll see a shot showing the pirate's boat sailing towards the main one. And then you'll see that on the TV screen. So it's like, okay, so somehow we're getting these angles too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was a Letterboxd review that made me laugh that was like, I'm glad they keep showing us the establishing shot of the boat because I kept forgetting that they were on a boat.
I get, yeah.
So it's like Noriega is like the fourth wall being broken is Noriega's fourth wall, and he's breaking the fifth wall by being the viewer. We're viewing him, viewing the movie, which is aware that it's a movie. This is like absurdly meta for a movie that's extremely dumb.
Yeah.
Like this movie does not warrant being that meta. For what it is.
Yeah, 100%. It's like that's where all of like any effort in writing went into like, oh, let's be like ultra meta with this. And it's like, okay, but what's the story gonna be? I don't know. That's all I thought about. That's all I was focused on.
It's it's kind of like that thing where I don't know if you've like seen a lot of stand-up comedy, but when like you go to like an open mic and like someone is on stage bombing, which happens a lot because it's an open mic and most people are not very good at it.
Sure.
There's like a very easy like cheap laugh button you can press where you can be like, oh man, you guys really love me tonight, huh? Or like, wow, I'm doing great up here, aren't I? And it's like the like recognizing the bomb is like usually you can get like a couple chuckles out of it. Mm-hmm. And that's what this movie is by Adam Sandler being cheeky and announcing that like he's aware that it's a zero budget movie and that it's not very good. Like that's what it is. That's the acknowledgement of the bomb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Patty Does Panama. That's what it is.
Okay.
I have it pulled up because it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the unsinkable Shecky
Moskowitz, yeah.
And it's Adam Sandler doing like a face.
That's what's on the VHS
he's on
tape?
the cover. Okay. It looks like a comedy album by him.
Interesting. So I saw on like the IMDb trivia or whatever, that was the original title of this movie. So maybe when they filmed it, that was the idea, is that it was going to be, you know, the same title.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think that's the whole thing with like the porno setup too, is just be like, oh, this is going to be a raunchy movie. Look at all these babes. They even that's one of the dumb montages where they're like, oh, we got to go handle this thing. But first, let's check out some ladies. Then he does that demonic face at the camera where like you can't see his pupils or anything. It's creepy as hell.
That's on the cover. That's on the cover of the unsinkable.
Is it that
Shecky
face?
Moskowitz? I'm pretty sure that's the face that's on it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because I was watching it in the living room, and Chloe came out to do something, and this usually happens when I'm watching like a movie for duds, especially if it's a dud. Is like she will not have any interest in watching it. She'll be like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I don't really want to watch this. But then like if she comes into the living room, these movies have like
that's the face that he makes. That's not altered. That's a still from the movie.
That's the hee hee hoo hoo, like that sort of like
yeah.
These movies have like a weird gravitational pull where like I had an hour left and she came into the living room and like sat down and then just got sucked into watching it with me.
Yeah, that
and was talking about it while we were watching it, saying this is terrible. I hate this. This is really bad. But also, like, she couldn't leave. She couldn't get up and go do anything else. And when it got to that scene where he's like, but first, let's look at some beautiful ladies. And it's just like tits and ass. Mostly ass. A lot of butts.
Yeah.
And I looked over and I was like, directed by a woman. This is directed by a woman, just so you know. You know, it's like American Psycho when people point out that it's like that movie's like grossly misogynistic and terrible for women. It's like directed by a woman. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
That's the pass. It's like
yes.
Can't say anything about that. No.
Bring it up with her. Not me. I didn't do it.
That one was one of the worst of those like just unnecessary like long bits because girls are gross.
Yes.
No, yes. Because like the way to do it, if you're trying to be comedic and not just, you know, do what they were trying to do, which is obviously they were just trying to do that. It's like the way that it's set up is like, oh, it's a joke. Like we got to do something important to the story. I don't remember what they were going to do, but they're like, we got to do something important. But first, let's do this. You do it for like 10 seconds, and then they're like, okay, we got to get it. But it's very
like
long.
Every other bit in this movie, it's like 2 minutes of time. A full song, because like a song starts playing when they're doing it.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, so this wasn't for. It's like you are literally just doing this to show. Like it's so unashamedly just like, no, we know the comedy's not good, so we're just gonna show people like, you know, hot chicks in bathing suits. You know,
that's a great like thesis for a movie. Is like it won't laugh, but maybe you'll jerk off. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But even then, there's like no nudity, so it's like
I know.
Okay, well,
yeah,
I mean, I can get this in like a J.C. Penney magazine. I'm thinking in 1989 terms. So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, really. That would be the other option.
Maybe it's because they had the cruise ship with all of the like Miss America, Miss Country models on there.
Yeah.
That they're like, all right, well, I guess, you know, we've got these like like how often are you going to have access to a cruise ship full of like very conventionally attractive, like beautiful women? Because if it was like any other cruise ship in America, maybe in the 80s it wouldn't have been so bad. But I feel like if you like in a cruise ship in America, it would just be like it would be cruise people, and those people there's a certain type, and it's just like they are not conventionally attractive or beautiful.
Yeah,
it attracts a certain crowd of just like I don't know, like just redneck or whatever.
Yeah, no, I know exactly.
Or just like kind of like white trash.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, you know, and they have some celebrity-ish to them. So, I mean, like, there is that it's like, yeah, I guess, I kind of think that's what the little, like, talking head bits with them was kind of like, hey, look, we got these, you know, somewhat famous, like, models in the movie. We're going to just have them say something funny really quick.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like they didn't really feel like they could have just been any people, really. It just so happened that they were all like in the beauty pageant queen thing or whatever.
That also like didn't really feel like it belonged. Like it wasn't really relevant to anything that was going on in the story. Until it got to like Miss Australia, and then like because up until then
fed into it.
All of the little talking head bits were like a sentence long. Like they were just like but there's like the one where it's like, oh, when I you know, get a job, I want to have 2 kids and maybe a house, and then it's like various iterations of the same idea where they're all all the models are just like, I want to go have a house in the suburbs with 2 kids, like blah 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 blah. It almost felt like they're trying to do like the When Harry Met Sally thing, where like they kind of had all the old people talking about how they met, but it's like that felt relevant to the story because the story is about 2 people meeting each other for the first time, and then they're like developing their story that then they tell at the end of the movie, and it all comes back full circle. But this, it like didn't make sense at all until they got to the Miss Australia part, and even then. That was like the gateway into like the even more absurd plot, because then it's like she's on the boat, so is she giving this testimonial on the boat in
that's
like
a
this
whole
empty
other
black space.
That adds like when we were talking about like the weird structure of the movie, like we didn't even talk about the talking heads, but that's another thing that it's like what even is this like narrative? Like where are they doing these interviews? Like why is this part of this supposed like porno, I guess, or something? I don't know.
This Noriega is just edging the entire time,
I guess
just
so,
waiting.
Yeah.
This is like this is all of the acting in a bad porn movie, but like all the porn has been removed, so this is like what's left.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's about that standard, that quality. Yeah.
Like the costuming of like Neptune and his daughter, that's like, like porn parody costumes that are usually like shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, his costume was embarrassing.
It was kind of funny just because like I know it's Billy Zane, so like there was like something inherently funny in that to me.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to laugh. May the gods be my witnesses. I've been at the brunt of a few too many jokes in the office water cooler. Let me tell you, me mismanagement. They said my tail. I'll put a hex on X on me. I remember when I was a Prince of Play.
The closest I came to a laugh in this, because man, I did not have, I don't think, like a non-ironic laugh, like or like a laugh that's like, I'm laughing because this is bad, right? The one genuine laugh that I had was during the dream sequence when
it's gotta be.
So Adam Sandler's in the straitjacket.
Yes.
And he's got the apple in his mouth.
Yes.
And
that was awesome.
You wearing a straitjacket? Oh, in your case, it might be a homo jacket.
And I was like, all right, you got me. Yeah. Because it was so stupid.
Yes.
It's like that Come Town humor that it just overrides something in my brain and makes me laugh at it.
Yeah, it's a flirty Harry. It all goes back to that.
There's one little diamond in an extreme rough.
Yeah. I almost want to say that like I can't remember anything that he said. It was very like old-timey comedian joke, but I think like Milton Berle was kind of like I did some of the, like light exhale through nose type laughs.
Yes.
But it's just like, well, that's because he's like a comedian who's done this for years, and like he's a guy who just knows how to like, tell a punchline, like deliver a joke, which seems like fucking impossible for every other person in this fucking movie.
Yeah. They even added a laugh track underneath when Milton Berle was talking.
That was so unnecessary.
Yeah. Another weird, like, breaking the fourth wall kind of thing, like having a live studio audience there to, like, make it seem like it was a sitcom. I don't know. Like, is Milton... I'm not super familiar with, like, Milton Berle's filmography, but I guess is he used to, like, is he, like, a TV guy where, like, he's on, like, 3-camera sitcoms where there's, like, a live studio audience? Because the only thing that I saw that he was in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is, like, his number one thing on, like, IMDb and everything. But he's just like one of those guys.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think like what's like the one thing I know him from. But I think he was just like an old comedian who, I mean, it's weird because like I know, like I've seen him in so many things, but I feel like what I think of him from is like appearances on like the Tonight Show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like various game shows, because we watch like old game show stuff every now and then.
He seems like he'd be a good guy on like Hollywood Square. I don't know how old that show is, but if he was around
he
for that.
he would fit right in for that. He'd been around for a while. Like I'm thinking like 50s, 60s is kind of when I picture him being in stuff. He's in like Adam West Batman.
Right.
So he's just a TV guy. He's just one of those guys who's just kind of been established funny man who just makes a ton of appearances and stuff.
It's almost like a very, very shitty passing of the torch, where it's like Milton Berle comes from this time period of stand-up where it was like guys in suits like telling like punchlines on like Johnny Carson or whatever, and it's like, or I guess even if it was in the 50s, it's more like, I don't know, there's like a different cadence to like the way that they delivered jokes. Like well, God, it almost like circles back to what we were talking about at the beginning, where we're like kind of joking about like watching videos of like the transatlantic accent, where it's like even watching old stand-up from like the 50s when it's like guys like Milton Berle or I mean even like Abbott and Costello, I guess. I don't know, there's like a different cadence, a different way that they speak, where it's not necessarily like a hilarious punchline, but it's like the way that they say it and like the smoothness and how they say it, like it's effortlessly funny. And Milton Berle kind of has that quality to him, where even if it's like a very like light zinger, it's like he's so charming that it's like you can't help but think that it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like that kind of old timey comedy. It's kind of like Norm Macdonald delivery. How it's the same kind of like, yeah. So here's the setup to the joke, and then I'm kind of filling it out with the in between stuff, and then there's the punchline. It's very just like matter of fact kind of way. It's not like, it's very like casual and and that, and he's just kind of a funny guy. Again, I don't think there was like a lot of like I want to say there was like one in particular where I was like, yeah, that one was kind of good. But then he got into the whole like laughter has the power to change the world stuff. I was like, are they being sincere here? Is this are we supposed to take this seriously?
And then like, it's Adam Sandler. The laughter has the power to change the world, and it's jokes about like your grandmother and whatever. I don't even remember any of his material. Well,
that's the thing, is like it's not even like he turns into an amazing comedian. I guess laughter changing the world is just, I'm gonna let the terrorists tell some knock jokes. That's kind of what
I'm gonna let Ahmed from Panama tell his jokes.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Even that's meta. They're doing a racial stereotype from a country he's not even from.
Yeah. Or they're just being racist. I don't know.
He's a Middle Eastern immigrant in Panama. So it's just like double the racism.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, they had a whole backstory for his character.
Yeah, that got cut.
Yeah. Cut for they didn't have enough room.
Yeah.
They had to make way for more important.
They couldn't cut any of those 4-minute songs that were in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they think Slap Your Cat was funny, or did they think it was good?
That's another like SNL thing. That's like, it probably sounded funny at 3:00 in the morning on Tuesday when you have 4 days to air, and other people have to like read through it, and then like, because that's the other interesting thing about that SNL doc, to go back to that, is like the way that they read through like every script that's like turned in. And some of them are like they're
Yeah,
they
what
like
are
read
the bad? What are the rejected SNL scripts?
Oh
Those
my
have got
God,
to be
I
bad.
can only imagine. But like they're kind of intercutting with like different, previous people from SNL. And Seth Meyers was like, he'd be like, yeah, you would get through like the first page and no one would be laughing, and you almost want to stand up and be like, it's okay, we can stop here. But no, they like read through it all, and you see your shit crucified. And I don't know, there's like a really interesting kind of cutaway with Tina Fey, who I don't know, I kind of respect Tina Fey a little bit. She seems to be like one of those comedy writers who, I don't know, she gets it. I don't know how else to put it. But she's talking about like when she was head writer at SNL, that it got really competitive and cutthroat with like what scripts made it to air. Because like yeah, we're having a good time, we're all friends here, but I want to get my shit on TV. And she was talking about how like, sometimes like you'd leave the room and like the writers would be like shitting on your idea essentially. And she's like, I'm not in SNL now, and I don't know if things are still that way, but she's like, maybe it should be. And I'm like, I kind of agree with you.
Oh, snap.
I kind of agree with you there, where it's like, I bet we would probably get a higher quality show if there was a little bit of like that edginess and meanness there, that like that cutthroatness that like only lets the good shit through. And that's all to say that this entire movie is like several scrapped SNL sketches that should have never seen the light of day.
Yeah. I like how much this Dud Month theme is just it all goes back to like SNL being really not good. Because
like, sorry, this will be the last thing I say about SNL, but the thing about it is like, theoretically, it should be something that I would love. I love the idea of the craft that goes behind it, of like, because we do the Fortnite film contest, and we have basically like a couple days to come up with something, and we're like all kind of pitching ideas, and we're like, we have those like 3 a.m. conversations where we're like, dude, it'd be so funny if we did this, and then the next day we go to shoot, and there's rewrites and there's changes, and et cetera, and it's like that part of the process I love. The other thing of like SNL is like the like making the stages, making the costumes. That shit is interesting to me from like a technical level, like the cameras and the way that everything operates. Like, and then it's just like the like breakneck pace that it all runs at, where like as soon as they get done with the sketch, they all run off, get into costumes, and they have to change. Like the whole production of it, I think, is like fascinating, and I think it should be. I'm like, I should love this, but then it's like the actual output, the quality of the sketches is just like. It's like you did all of this work for this, and it's and like that's the part that bums me out, is like I would adore the process if the product wasn't what it is.
So ass,
where like one sketch maybe, and the one that's usually good is the one that gets cut and like put up on the YouTube channel. Where you're like, oh yeah, like the ones that like Tim Robinson would write, like the ones that are too weird to air would get like the YouTube treatment, and I'm like, why didn't they put this on the TV? This shit is like way funnier than everything else that was on there. Hopefully the next Dud movie is not like a former cast member of SNL, so we don't have to keep coming back to this well of conversation.
I think and it's a fun like accidental theme though.
Yeah, true.
I think well actually maybe I'll save that for a wrap up. So I guess with that said, is there anything else you need to say, or are you good to go into wrap
I think
up?
I've gotten through all of my notes, so I'm good to go.
Okay. So so I'll roll into it with this then.
Okay.
So I think like when I pulled this last week, I was like, oh man, do we want to do another like comedy like this or whatever? I think I kind of came to the realization after this that like for Dud Cup movies, they're like the hardest ones. They have the most difficult battle to be spuds because there's something about just like spuds are movies that are right. We say, oh well, it's genuinely enjoyable or not. Sorry, it's like ironically enjoyable typically or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like if somebody's trying to be funny, which is usually that's the enjoyment we get out of dud movies, right? Is like we're laughing at them. If they're trying to be funny, it's like that's not funny. It's just torture and it's boring.
Yes.
It's better when they're trying to be sincere or when they're trying to be scary or dramatic or what have you. And that's why, they're all like bad to where I looked at like the list. The only the list I have on Letterboxd is like kind of ordered. It's just kind of my own personal ranking since we don't do like star ratings or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do mark the ones that we put as like spuds and then the ones that we put as duds. The only ones that are like that are spuds are not like straight comedies. They have something else going for them. And like, I mean, we do have Crime Wave on the list, but I'm like, I wouldn't, that's I just like that movie.
Yeah.
But then we have like Love on a Leash, it's like romantic comedy. Vampire's Kiss is just kind of like its own thing. You know, I don't even know where to categorize that. But then it's like nothing. It's like our next. Well, I mean, from Justin to Kelly, that's another one that I particularly love. But
yeah.
But then it's like the next like highest rated for us like comedy, which I would say like the first more just straightforward comedy is Son of the Mask. That's like the best one.
Oh,
according to my list. Because then there's like our other ones: Cat in the Hat, Leonard Part 6, Movie 43, Going Overboard, Norbit, Disaster Movie, Inappropriate Comedy. Like these things are fucking torture. They all suck.
Are.
They're so bad. So that's just a long preamble to say that this is a dud. It's not good. It's not funny. It's annoying. It's aggravating. There were some bits that I laughed at ironically with how bad like the ADR was in particular. That's probably what got the most laughs out of me was just how terrible the dubbing was.
Value. This is bad.
Yeah, but otherwise it was terrible. It was awful. Yeah, it was a bad time. Bad movie. And I really hope we don't pull another comedy. Please fucking God.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of like, bounce off of your like preamble a little bit too, it is so difficult to find a movie that fits the criteria. And I think that's why, again, stuff like The Room and Ben and Arthur work so well, is that because one, it's like an earnest attempt to make a movie. There's like earnestness that needs to be there. I feel like I've said that a million times about like these movies. Neil Breen is passionate about making movies and he sucks at it. Tommy Wiseau, very passionate. Passion of Tennessee Williams was like the tagline for that shit. And it's terrible. Ben and Arthur, like Sam Marovich wanted to make like a statement about like gay marriage, I think that's what he was trying to
Yeah.
Remember me, bitch? Whatever that line was. Remember me? It's like it's his wife.
Like that. Yeah.
There's like these beautiful moments in these movies that are very sincerely trying to like tell you a story and just like tripping over their own shoelaces every chance that they get. And then like contrast that with something like Going Overboard, which is very cheeky in trying to tell you like this is a no budget movie, so if it's bad, we told you so man. It's like it's very cynical, and the comedy is not good. Like I could get behind the sort of satirical, cynical lens if like the rest of the movie was remotely funny at all, but it's really not. So it's like you don't get any like straightforward comedy, and you don't get that ironic bad craftsmanship comedy. So you just get bad on both ends. It's a double-ended dildo of shit. Like it's so bad. So that right there was funnier than anything that was said in Going Overboard. Yeah, dud. Capital D, dud. No real redeeming qualities. Homo Jacket was funny. That's it.
That's
all
true.
it got.
Yeah,
That's
Homo
all it
Jacket
got out
was
of
good. Yeah. But then it's sandwiched by.
Oh, the movies end the way the movie ends with that too.
I was just gonna ask the end credits. Oh, and again, so long. It went on for so long at the end of the credits. Oh my god. And then that ugly like hand-drawn animation too. God damn. Did you watch the direct, the Nintendo direct, or did you like
most of it,
update it or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched most of it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just in like a Nintendo or like gamey mood because of the Vault app or whatever. But also there was some stuff there that was exciting. I think maybe because we were talking about, so we recently recorded our a future Vault episode where we talk about the Nintendo 64, and one of the things they announced is finally they'll be bringing the Gamecube, which is sweet.
Yep.
And I noticed one of the ones that they're launching with is F-Zero GX, which I mentioned specifically is one that I really want to check out, so that's cool. And Wind Waker, which is cool. I mean, that's not, they don't have that for the Switch, but there's ones like where I'm like, okay, are they gonna like not put, which isn't a huge deal because I own the remaster, but it's like, are they gonna, I wonder if they hold off on putting out like, you know, the Metroid Prime on there because they're like, well, we still got that remaster that people could buy, or I did see Super Mario Sunshine is coming up, and that they have that as like a re-release on the Switch,
like,
and
because like part of me wonders if they're going to avoid putting like anything that was like, okay, but like we had Mario Sunshine and Super Mario All-Star, so we'd much rather you buy that. Is the digital version of that still available?
I have no idea. No,
because I know the physical copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars was like they released it for a limited time, and then like they don't. I don't know if you can still download it as like because like
it might have been limited digitally too.
I think totally it is.
Sure. It might be.
Which is an insane decision by the way the decision making for like some of their stuff and like the scarcity is like so silly sometimes. I don't understand it.
I hate that, like sometimes I like stuff like that does make me hate that, like
I'm like, why? This is so arbitrary.
But they're like the company, you know, they're the system that I like. They got the games that I like.
Yeah.
So it is kind of annoying.
The GameCube library could be really interesting. Like
it could, yeah.
Double Dash, Resident Evil 4. Like I know the Resident Evil 4 remaster just came out, but like RE4, Pikmin.
No, see that'd be a good one for them to bring, because that's not because the RE4 remake was just like a multi-console. It's not, I don't even know if you can get that on the Switch. So then they're like, hey, that's like the opposite of like the Metroid Prime remaster. They're like, hey, don't buy these other companies Resident Evil 4. Just come get ours.
I saw Soul Calibur 2 was on there too.
That was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can quick find like the lineup for GameCube specifically. I'm hoping too, because they've really slowed down, especially on the N64. But they've like really slowed down on releasing, like updating the other NSO games. I'm like, okay, maybe if they're bringing the GameCube, maybe that'll kind of like, even if it's just temporary, but maybe they'll also drop some new games for the other ones. It's just kind of like, we're just going to like update all of the, you know, the Super Nintendo and this N64 and the Game Boy ones. They're all going to get some new games. That'd be neat. Let's see. Yeah, so the launch ones, there's Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2. And then Luigi's Mansion, they got on the docket. That's cool. Be a cool one. Mario Sunshine, Mario Strikers, Pokemon Coliseum, and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, Chibi Robo.
Okay.
It's normal for them to have like a few where I'm like, yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know if I want to play it. But then like some are like, sweet, yeah.
Because I feel like now there are some GameCube games that are like, I mean, again, this is discounting like pirating and like just playing ROMs.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, playing it the way that Nintendo would want you to play it, i.e. like on the original console, this shit's insanely expensive now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I follow a Disc Traders in, I think, it's the Facebook page for the Battle Creek Disc Traders.
Okay.
And like, I see their posts sometimes on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll kind of do a post. What they'll do is like they'll post a game and they'll be like, we have these things for sale, and then they'll show the game and they'll show the price tag, right? And then sometimes if they don't sell it, they'll make another Facebook post a little bit later that's like, wow, can you guys believe that we still have this in stock? And it's like Pokemon Red for $500, and I'm like, yeah, I can believe that you still have that in stock. It's in box, which is cool, but like,
go fuck yourself.
I remember, and again, this was like a decade ago, so like inflation, whatever. These old school games only gain value as time goes by, because it's like, oh damn, this game is like 20 years old, 25 years old, etc., etc. I remember seeing Earthbound complete in box for like $2.99. And that game is far like rarer to find than like Pokemon Red, a game that they made 1 million copies of. And it's just insane to see like a game that like, you know, $200 is a lot of money for like a retro game, but it's like, I can understand it because it's like, it's Earthbound, and it's like, yeah, it's like but now it's like, there's like sports games that it's like, oh, it's complete in box though, so we want like $250 for it. It's like, you're just, I don't know. I think it's also because like, I think there's like a slight backlash lately in like digital content and like streaming, where people are like kind of returning to like owning physical copies of things.
Right. Yeah. That's
where a lot of these places are like, oh, haha, people like want to own copies of games now, so we can jack the prices up. You want Twilight Princess? That's $150, please. And it's like just the disc, and then we print it off like a shitty like cover to like slide into the GameCube case. It's like they'll still charge you full price for it. All that to say that I hope Nintendo like will actually put like good games on the GameCube like virtual console, because for whatever reason certain things that they still won't do. Like they never put Smash Bros. Like for the N64
that's
on the N64
crazy.
virtual console. Like I doubt they'll put Melee,
especially with they have the capability of like, because they did that with the GoldenEye, where you can do online multiplayer.
Yeah,
fucking perfect for Smash Bros.
Do you know how many people would buy a Switch 2 if it meant that they could get like the GameCube controller for the Switch?
Oh yeah,
and they could play.
Right, yeah.
They could play Melee on an HD TV with no like input lag. Like I know you're not into like competitive Melee and all that shit.
No, but still.
The main reason that like Melee still thrives to this day, and it is played on GameCubes and CRT TVs.
Yeah.
Because they don't play it on digital screens because of like the input delay from like analog to digital. But it's like if you release Super Smash Bros. Melee on the virtual console, and it like there's no input delay, and they can play it on a GameCube controller, and you do like online capability, so many people would be into that. So many people would be.
Yeah.
I don't see them putting Animal Crossing out either, which like you could introduce could introduce an entire generation of people to the OG Animal Crossing, which I mean, it's nostalgia, you know, kind of influenced, but Like the OG Animal Crossing is like maybe my favorite in like the whole series.
Yeah.
I played the most of it, but it's like you can find NES games in there. Like I don't know, the whole world of the OG Animal Crossing is like so good, and it's just like people would have to pay like $200 to buy a copy of it these days without pirating it. So
that's the thing. Like with it being like resells, and it's like it makes it even crazier that they don't want to put more of their stuff out to raise the value of the NSO like library, because it's like they don't make money on these secondhand shops reselling these games for so much. So why not, like, you know, we're like, you're a big company. I want to, you know, I would rather just pay you guys the little amount and then you put the stuff on it rather. I mean, I'm not going to be spending several $100s on this stuff, but it's like, that's the alternative, is like people are going to be spending exorbitant amount of like money on these games that you're not getting any revenue or any benefit from. So why not do it to make your shit more valuable and more like worthwhile to people?
Like the people that want the physical copies are going to buy the physical copies no matter like that market is basically always going to be there. But it's like, you can provide an alternative, a legal alternative, if you don't want, you know, piracy to happen. Right. You can very easily provide like a legal alternative for people to play these games.
Yeah.
Hell, why not do the Wii? Like, do the Wii as well. That might be a little more difficult because like a lot of those games have like the
Joy-Cons,
peripherals.
They got
true,
like better, smoother like motion controls than the built into the Switch. Even like the Switch one.
Put the OG Wii Sports on there.
Oh,
people would eat that shit up.
Yeah. No, having the Wii too could be cool.
This could be like the console to end all Nintendo consoles. You make new shit on it, and it's entirely backwards compatible with like every game you've ever made. Yeah,
I mean, some of it might have like. Then you could do. Oh man. Oh no, that's not how the Switch works. I'm dumb. I guess I'm thinking more like the Wii U controller, but I was like thinking you could still make it work. You just do it on the one screen. But I was thinking like a DS, like if you did DS like emulator, and again, I was just thinking of a Wii U controller, how that has like a screen on it. Yeah. But then it's on the TV as well. It's like the one is like the bottom DS screen, and then the TV's the main one, and you have the touch screen on the bottom one. Be perfect. I don't know, you can maybe still work something out with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be awesome if they. I mean, I'm happy that they're adding the GameCube. I hope it's not. I just hope it's not like, okay, so they have the 3 games coming out at launch, and then it's like 6-7 more that are TBA. And I hope that's not like, because when they did the N64 one, they launched it with a few, and then it was like, okay, for the next, I remember it was for a year, so it was for the next 12 months, they released a new game with each one, but it was like the top games, you know, they got all the like big ones in there. Not like Chibi Robo and stuff, and like a Super Mario soccer game. Like those might be good, but it's like there's other games that are kind of more you know.
Put the OG Kirby Air Ride. They just announced the sequel to Kirby Air Ride. Throw the OG one on there too.
Yeah.
That was a cool trailer, because like I kind of woke up a little bit later, so I was like kind of catching up on the direct, and then like, all right, I kind of scrubbed through, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that, okay, and then like I would jump to the present, and I think it was one of the last trailers that they showed, but they were like, okay, we have one more thing to show you, and I saw the star floating, and I was like, oh, is this a Kirby game? And then I saw him get on it and ride on it. I was like, oh shit, it's a Kirby Air Ride sequel, because I think they said they haven't done one in 20 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I mean, I think that's the only one. Yeah, I think.
And that's like Sakurai's baby. He makes Kirby and he does Smash Bros. Like those are his two like lanes, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. I actually didn't see. I didn't know that was a thing. So that was new. I missed that one. I read like I didn't watch the direct because I missed it too because I was at school. So I just like read an article when I was there. I totally didn't even see a thing about Kirby. I did see the trailer for the new Donkey Kong, which
I caught that. Yeah.
I am a recent like fan of that series ever since I played through Tropical Freeze last year, and now done almost all of them. The only one I need to get to, which I'll try to do before that comes out, is Donkey Kong Country Returns, which they thankfully did the re-release remaster earlier this year. So have them all in.
So you did all the SNES ones?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've like started the first Donkey Kong Country several times, and like that game gets really hard.
Yeah, they're really fucking difficult.
Really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of janky too. I wasn't like a huge fan of them for the most part. I liked the third one. The third one was pretty good.
Is that
one
Dixie's
was like
Conquest?
No, I think that's the second one is Diddy's Conquest.
Okay.
The third one is Dixie's Double Trouble. That's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was definitely my favorite of those three. It felt the most like polished, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, that was kind of why I went into DK64, because I was just I did Tropical Freeze, which is the most recent one. And I was like, oh, that was really good. I want to try the other games in the series, and so then I was just playing them chronologically, and 64 was the most recent one, and then the only one left is the Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I think we actually had that because it was originally for the Wii, but I just never played it. I think I had that was the console where I kind of fell off of Nintendo, and just I migrated to, I was mainly like an Xbox 360 guy.
Yeah.
And then the following generation, I was like basically just 3DS. Like I didn't get a Wii U. I didn't get the PS4 or the whatever the Xbox One or what. I didn't get any of those.
Xbone.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, the Donkey Kong one looks cool. It looks like a mix between the 2D like Donkey Kong Countries and then Donkey Kong 64.
Well, yeah, because like the first bit of the trailer, I was watching it because at first I couldn't tell that it was a DK game yet. And I was like, oh, is this like a sequel to Mario Odyssey? Like that's what I thought it was at first. And then DK bursts through the wall and I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's a mainline DK game. But yeah, it showed gameplay from like both perspectives, which I think would be really cool if they kind of blended. Because like I haven't played Odyssey in a second, but that's mostly like 3D Mario open world.
Yeah, it's mostly like Sunshine or Galaxy or whatever.
But then there are some segments that are sort of like your traditional 2D platformery. Not a ton, but they're there.
Yeah, not a ton, yeah.
But it's like that would be a cool way of kind of combining both of those things to like make it like an expansive open world DK game, and then there's like you do a couple like platformer traditional DK levels. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope they bring in more of the Kongs too. It's like I don't even think you see Diddy in the trailer. But yeah, so that was the one because I was looking for like what are their like launch titles, because like the new Mario Kart, I'm like that's not my thing anymore. I don't think I just don't really care that much. It's like I got the ones I like,
Yeah.
And then Prime 4 isn't coming out for a while still.
I was so convinced that Prime 4 was going to be a launch title to be like, hey, you want to play the Metroid Prime 4? Got to get the new Switch to play it.
Yeah, it should be.
Do you think it'll be? Do you think going forward, every Switch game is going to be Switch 2 only? Like, do you think they're gonna like produce any more games for the OG Switch, or is this like essentially like the death knell for that console?
I think at least that will be Switch as well. It'll be both.
Okay.
At least that one. But then like probably like the other ones that they were like I'm guessing like Donkey Kong and Mario Kart might just be Switch 2 exclusive. I don't know.
They're probably like, hey, we utilized the updated hardware of the Switch 2, and the Switch 1 can't handle the graphical, elements of this game. So unfortunately, you can't play it on there. So now you have to upgrade.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Because I saw that they're doing that with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, where like I think the Switch 2 can run like 120 FPS now or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they're basically, I didn't catch that part fully how it works. Is it like do you have to rebuy them, or is it like if you have owned them previously, they just automatically upscale? I don't know how it works.
I think it's like they're just new
versions.
Yeah, I think you probably just have to buy the new ones.
Because like I'll just deal with like the slight frame rate.
Oh yeah. I'm not getting.
Especially
I don't need new.
if it's all like $80.
Yeah,
that's another like thing that I'm not stoked about.
Yeah. I hear people like complain about frame rate in a lot of like Nintendo games, like Zelda or the Pokemon games, and I'm not. The newest Pokemon games, I did notice it somewhat, but I feel like that's something that like I just don't. My brain doesn't like process, because for the most part, I'm like with the like Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like I don't really know. Maybe once in a very great while I'll notice it, but I think that that's something that I'm just like blind to for the most part. Which I think is good, which I think is serviced by being a Nintendo fan. Or maybe that's because I'm a Nintendo fan.
You're used to jank. Right? You're used to like that, that like kind of... I think where it mostly happens is like in the Kokiri Forest, because there's a lot of like grass textures and like particles and like bloom and all that kind of shit. Where like if you're moving in Kokiri Forest and like you use like the right joystick to like move the camera around, there's like a little bit of like frame ratey hiccups because there's like so many textures and things moving on the screen. But like I don't care that much.
Yeah.
It's like a small hiccup that happens in one particular section of the game, and the rest is like fine. Like I don't know. I would say that like, I'm like a PC gamer now because I like built a PC and I can play like, more AAA titles on it. But I have never been like, I need the best graphical fidelity and like frame rates and unlimited this and like I don't. Is it fun? Is it a fun thing to play?
Yeah.
Because that's like the number one thing, and like everything else is secondary. Like if a game is busted and broken, 100%. Then I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this sucks. But if it's not the prettiest looking game, but like the controls are good and the story's good, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally the same way. And again, maybe that's also because we're Nintendo guys, because they've always been the ones who are like a little bit behind on like the graphical strength or whatever. They're always like slightly behind like Xbox and PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe, but yeah, it's never really been a big thing with me. And also, yeah, just like the price, and also I have my in particular with the two Zelda games, it's like I sunk hundreds of hours into them to 100% complete both of them. I'm not getting a new copy of that game. That's my copy of the game. I don't want to do that again.
Because you're like, well, if I buy a new copy, I have to do it again.
Yeah, because it's not on that one. I got to do it on that one. Yeah, I mean that's literally what it's like. Like every time, like not fully. I love the game, but I think that's kind of partly why I have played stuff like Ocarina of Time as much as I have, because there's been so many fucking re-releases for it. So because it's like every time I get it, I'm like, I got to beat it again. I gotta play it.
Yeah.
I gotta beat it on this one to like justify my purchase of this or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of putting like the 3DS on Virtual Console, put the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remasters from the 3DS. On that. Put Master Quest on there. I love the N64 one. I love, like the way that it looks, even though it is, it's like an older game, so the textures and the graphics are like whatever. They're like a little stretched out and kind of polygonal. I still think, Ocarina of Time has a cool, distinct look to it. Yeah. That being said, sure. I think the remaster also looks really, really good too. Yeah. And the fact that that's like a remaster of Nintendo's Skyrim, the game that they put on every console imaginable. The fact that they haven't re-released it outside of the 3DS is kind of crazy. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Plus all the the little quality of life improvements for both of them and stuff. Yeah, nice. Yeah, because don't they do the thing with the 3DS one where you can assign the iron boots? Yeah. To like a C stick or whatever, so that way you don't have to pause the game to put them on. Yeah. It's just like the boots, like they do that in Wind Waker with like the hover boots. Yeah. Those can be the iron boots, not hover boots. Yeah, and that alone I remember that making like stuff like, in particular the water temple just way nicer to traverse. Yeah. 'Cause people always complain about just like the design and missing the key or whatever. But that's whenever I think of like the badness of the water temple, it's just having to pause and unpause so much. It disrupts the flow of the game, by constantly having to pause and navigate the menu, do this thing. Okay. Yeah. Especially in segments of that game where you kind of need to go up but then float and then go back down and to kind of get through some areas. There's a few spots where it's you're basically pausing it 4 times to traverse this area. Yeah. At least there's there isn't any there's no buffer for the pause. It's pretty quick to just and then boom boom boom. So it's because there's some still playing some N64 games. There's some it's every time you pause it, there's it's just a second or two. It's but it feels so long. When I watch Ocarina of Time speedrunners or randomizers, they have it set up so quality of life tailored, where everything is on the D-pad. The ocarina and hover boots and iron boots are all assigned to different D-pad controllers. So that way you can keep hook shot, bow and arrow, bombs on all 3 of your C sticks, and then you have ocarina and your boots on the D-pad, so you don't have to reassign what goes on what C stick. You can kind of keep your main ones there. Yeah. Optimistic. It looks good. I'm and not crazy expensive. Yeah. Which is nice. I don't think I've ever bought a next gen console on its launch title or launch day. I got my Switch used from a friend maybe a year or so after it came out. Mm-hmm. I got mine at the perfect time. I got mine Christmas 2019. That was, little did I know, that was 3 months before the pandemic. Yeah. The absolute best time to get into that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably keep my old Switch, but I do want to 100%, upgrade. Yeah. I do want to upgrade, I think. I'm sure that you'll be able to transfer. I mean, Jesus Christ, I hope so. Transfer your games over. Yeah.
But even so, yeah, I'll keep it. Especially now that like it's. I mean, I do have my Steam Deck too, so it's not like I don't have any other option.
Mm-hmm.
But now that there's a few games that Kalia plays too, so it'll be nice that like we'll each have one.
Yeah.
To play on in a way. I won't let her use the 2. She just gets the first one, sort of thing. Yeah,
I haven't earned this yet.
Yeah, I'm a little undecided. I'm not. It would be. I kind of want to get it on launch because I don't think that I have ever gotten a console on launch, and it would be fun. But at the same time, I'm like, it looks like the only launch title. I thought Donkey Kong Bonanza was, but it's coming out a month later.
Is it just Mario Kart?
It looks like it's just Mario Kart is the only launch title. It's like, well, I'm not going to get that game.
Yeah.
So would I get the Switch 2 on launch to be able to play the GameCube games, I guess?
Yeah.
To say that I got one.
That's a good point. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll wait until like Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
That's going to be the one where I'm like, that's
going
to be my deadline.
To, like, pull the trigger. Yeah. All right, what SNL cast member movie are we doing next?
Yeah. Please God, no. we do have. I was looking at like what we have left. We do still have like a handful of like comedies in here, but we have a much greater chance of not getting one. So I'm just like, God, I'll fucking take like. I'm like after these 3 movies, we don't have anything like this in here. But I'm like I want to pull like Faces of Death or like I want something bad. I want something that like
a little more challenging.
See it and I want to like kill myself like but in a different way than I already do. But actually
we need a fresh perspective on wanting to kill ourselves.
Well, it's not a comedy, thank God.
Okay.
It is a movie from 1992, directed by Michael Mfume. Axum. Like AX space apostrophe EM. Yeah, I think this is one of the. It's like a YouTube only maybe, or maybe it's on like Tubi or something, but.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Not a lot of blue Wikipedia names on the cast.
No. From what I understand, this was like a college movie. What?
I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot of things here that's giving me hope. One of the things, directed by, written by, produced by, and starring Michael Mfume, which, yes, this is, of all of the ingredients of what makes a spud dud movie, when it's written by, directed, starring, and produced by all the same guy, you know that, like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Like the fact that like even on the Wikipedia, like before you read the plot, it says this section's plot summary may be too long or excessively detailed.
Crazy. That's wild. That's
which leads me to think that Michael Mfume, if he's still alive, is the one that is like editing the Wikipedia plot because it's like his movie.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't want to spoil myself or anything. Yeah. But
yeah, I was kind of like scrolling through. Yeah. Yeah. This is much more what I was looking for. Thank Christ. It's probably gonna be terrible, but like, thank God we don't have to watch another fucking comedy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. All right. So. Watch Axum before the next episode if you don't want to be spoiled for it. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all that said, I want to slap your cat, I guess. I don't know. That's all and with me as always.
As always, I've got a statement for the movie, and it is this. Listen, butthole, why don't you quit trying to be funny? Because all it's doing is pissing me off.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Billy Bob, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I am Nick. Shabadoo!
Shadow, funny face. Ooh.